In this video, I'm going to tell you about how to export your RISE course and also how to review your RISE course. Let's start with the review process. I'm going to go here to our review section and I'm going to create a new item called RISE Overview. So let's publish that. And as we're waiting for this, look at how fast that was. Okay, I'm going to view this in Articulate Review 360 and we're going to have a look at what the review site looks like. What that does essentially is take a snapshot of my course at the point that I've published it. So if I go back to the course, if I were to make any changes, if I were to say what is RISE ... that won't be reflected inside of the review copy. Think of it as a snapshot. So from this snapshot, I can then send this to people who are maybe stakeholders, maybe potential users, and they can review the course without having to have an Articulate login or a RISE pass or license, anything like that. And they can just add comments. They could say something like, you have a typo. Oh boy, again with the spelling. You have a typo. Or maybe we're inside of this particular section and they say, I don't like this picture. And I can give any number of comments that I'd like. I can also respond to anyone else's contacts, me either. And they will be tagged with a name from a sign-in. So when I access this course as somebody else, I could sign in as user number 5, Bill Clinton, whoever, right? These will appear as separate comments so you can see who made what comment and when. And I can also get an overall view of the feedback, and this is one of my favorite things. You get a screenshot of where that actually happened, so you know where that person was when they made that particular comment. This saved us so much time in the review process. Well, this is very, very helpful. I can also mark these as resolved if I'm on the other side, if I'm the developer and I want to change that. I can also edit or delete my comments as the commenter. That's fantastic. So that's the review feature. In terms of my experience with getting feedback on courses, this is the best feedback system that I've seen. If your project is large or involves multiple stakeholders, or you have a review team, maybe say of, more than 2 people, this is a really easy way to make your life better. I honestly, I can't tell you how much time this saved me versus other reviewing processes I've used before. If your project is complicated with multiple stakeholders and is going to eventually be public facing, like you're sharing it with community organizations, the review package inside of RISE it's excellent. It's just excellent. Okay, so that's the review process. Now let's look at the publishing process. I'm going to go to export. And I've got 3 types of export. I can do, you can't see these pop-ups, but I'll just do them one at a time. We've got PDF, we've got web, and we've got LMS. LMS lets us make SCORM packages. There's a number of different types we can use. There's SCORM 2004. Again, sorry, you can't see these. SCORM 2004, AICC, Tin Can, CMI5. Most likely you're going to use SCORM 1.2. That's most standard. We also have a few options in here. Not a ton, but you can set up some things. And then when you're ready, you hit export. This is going to create a zip file. And that zip file can get uploaded straight into a Moodle course. So let's pretend I had exported it as a web object. As a SCORM package. And then I put it in a Moodle course. Perfect. Let's show you what it would look like. So let's go to my Moodle. And I've created a course with WebSafe with all the SCORM packages. So they look like this. Here's my Moodle SCORM package. I can click on that SCORM package and launch it. And it'll launch the course inside of Moodle. So we're going to close that. Perfect. So here we are inside of our SCORM package. Easy, right? No problem. The other way is to export as a web page. For WebSafe, we actually are hosting the course inside of NorQuest's research folder, I guess would be the best way to put it. Okay, let's go. We're going to go here, norquest.ca. We're going to go to research and innovation. We're going to go to research. We're going to go to research projects. I know this is a long way. And now we're going to go to WebSafe. All of our courses, our units, I should say, the things that we made inside of Rise, our 9 elements plus our glossary, these are all existing as web pages hosted on NorQuest. So we've got norquest.ca, NorQuest College, Media, Learning, WebSafe, and then the name of our unit. Module 1, Unit 1, Introduction. So again, Module 1, Unit 1, Introduction. The way I made that was to go into my Rise Overview course and to export it from here. So I've exported it as a web course. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it, let's say you have a continuing license with Rise. Let's say you've purchased an ongoing agreement with Rise. Let's say your team is also using Storyline. You just plan to have an articulate license into the future. Well, you can also just share the course directly from its Rise location. So I'm going to go to Share, and I can go to here. Anyone with this link can preview your course. I can just share out this link. So this link will take me to a preview version of the course. And by preview, I mean if I pressed preview, it will look the same. So this is a published version of the course. It's just instead of being hosted on NorQuest, it's being hosted on Rise. There's some advantages here. If I host my course on Rise, then any changes that I make here will be automatically reflected here. If I host my course with NorQuest, any changes that I make to this course, I have to make the changes, I have to re-export the course, I have to send that course to the IT department, to the web team. They have to re-upload the course. It's a lot of work. But for the purposes of controlling our data, controlling our content, and having it safe, living on our servers, this is a great option. If you own an ongoing license with Articulate, if you don't mind it being hosted with Articulate, this is a great option. They're both perfectly fine. The NorQuest hosted option takes a little more work in terms of managing the version, because if you make any changes, you have to re-upload it. Rise hosting is reflected directly. Any change I make here is immediately shown in the course. I would say in terms of thinking about your own project, if you have a shorter term goal, if it's something that's a little bit smaller, using Rise hosting is an excellent choice. There's going to be no problem using Rise hosting. If you're thinking about your course in the long term and you're imagining that you might not renew your licenses with Articulate, then NorQuest hosting is a great choice. Okay, so those are kind of the big ways to use the course. You can use it as a SCORM package. You can use it as a web page. And that web page can either be hosted through NorQuest or it can be hosted through Rise. Okay, thanks very much.